Our last message here from the book of Exodus, We Lay Shemot. We Lay Shemot. We're studying Hebrew reading and research, and I would like to read the alphabet with you before we go into the lesson. I don't expect to teach you a lot about Hebrew, but I hope to teach you a lot about the Bible from Hebrew. And I hope you learn the grammar enough to where you can understand the tenses that are very important, and even the inflected endings and prefixes. Hebrew is what we might call an acrophony language, an acrophony, which means it has symbols for words. Symbols for words. The Hebrew language has very few, well, there aren't any vowels in it originally at all. The vowels were invented much later, even after Christ. It starts out with an aleph. Aleph has the head of an ox or the sign of an ox. And then Beth. Beth is, means house, basically. Gamel. Gamel is camel. Daleth. Daleth is like D and day, and it's a door. And then Hay. Hay is like an H sound, and it's like a window. And then wow, wow, like that. The wow is a ba sound or a wa sound. Ba more in modern Hebrew and in what we might call German inflected Hebrew. The Germans can't say W, so they say ba. And many of the German authors and grammarians were not saying wa, but ba. So that's how ba got in there. And then we have Zion. Zion, like in Z, it's like a weapon. Cheth is a CH sound, like in lock or book, and it's a fence. And then we have the word samek. Samek looks like a snake. Snake's head goes down, then the tail comes inside, and that is like a T for a towel. And then we have a yod. Yod is like hand, and it is a Y sound, basically, like yod. And then Kaf. Kaf is an open hand, like that. And it's a K sound. The Lamet word is like a whip. It comes down like that. And that is a whip. And then Mem. Mem is waters. It's like Mem and Met and Maim. Then we have Nun. And it's like a fish. And then we have the word Samek. Samek. Samek is like an S, and it's like a prop. Then we have the word Ayin. Ayin, like an eye, and it's like an eye. And then we have the word Pei. Pei is like an open mouth with a tongue in it. Open mouth with a tongue, like that. A mouth with a tongue in it, Pei. And it's like a P or a PH sound. Then we have the word Sadhe. Sadhe is a TS sound, a TS. Like Phillips. Phillips, but it would be Phillips with a T instead of a P. It is a fish hook. Then we have the word Kaf. Kaf is the back of the head. It's like Q, or like a K. Then Resh. Resh is the head, and it's like R and run. Then we have Sin and Shin. Sin is a S-I-N, and Shin is a S-H-I-N. And modern Hebrew doesn't make any difference between these. You got all these S's in Hebrew, but they don't make any difference. It's just S to them. But in the biblical Hebrew, one of them is Sin, S-I-N, and the other one is Shin, S-H-I-N. Then you'll have the word Tau. And by the way, shin and sin is like a tooth with long roots. And now we have the word tau. Tau is a cross, like that, in Old Hebrew. But it's like this. It's got a little foot on it, goes up and then back down, like that. So that is the Hebrew alphabet for a moment. Now we're going to read from the Amplified Bible, the text where we're going to study here. It is 32:29. That's where we're going to start, 32:29.
What was it?
Exodus 32:29. Then Moses said to the Levites, "Dedicate yourselves today to the Lord." Now they had already killed a bunch of people. 30 or 3,000 people had died here. For each man has been against his own son and his own brother in his attempt to escape execution, so that he may restore and bestow his blessing on you this day. Then the next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a great sin." They were worshiping demons now. God got them out of Egypt, but he couldn't get Egypt out of them. "You've committed a great sin. Now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." So Moses returned to the Lord and said, now he'd already been up there 40 days now. He comes down, as far as I know, he hasn't eaten yet. Now he's going to go back up on the mountain and not eat again. But God is sustaining him. So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, these people have committed a great sin against you, and have made for themselves a god of gold. And yet now I will, if you will, forgive their sin, and if not, please blot me out of your book which you have written." Kill me, in other words. But the Lord said to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me, I will blot him out of my book, not you." But now, by the way, there's some cross references. Philippians 4:3 and Revelation 3:5, Daniel 12:1, and Psalm 69:28. "But now go and lead the people to the place where I have told you, and behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day when I punish, I will punish them for their sin." Exodus 23:20 and 33:2 and 3. And the Lord struck the people with a plague, because of what they had done with the calf which Aaron had made for them. So the Lord struck the people with a plague. Well, let's go start off here. We're going to start at 32 and verse 30. 29, I think, is where we finished last time. And we're going to read it from the Hebrew text. Wayihi, Mem Machorath, Wayomer, Moshe, El Ha'am, Atim, Cha-ta-them, Cha-ta, Gedolah, Wa'ata, Ile, El Hadar, Yule, Ha-kapara. This verse is pretty long. Biad, Cha-ta-kem. And we're going to look about the word sin here for a few minutes after we get here. Wayihi. That is, and he became. Third person masculine singular cal, wow, consecutive, perfect. He became and stayed that way. He became tomorrow. Tomorrow is Mem Ma Shorath. On the morrow or tomorrow. Now became there is from Hayah 224 and 243. And then we have tomorrow, page 564 in the Analytical Lexicon. And then Wyomer. Third person masculine singular cal, wow, consecutive and perfect, and it's got a conjunction on the front of it, 253. Amer is the root of that word, page 55 and page 65. When I say 55, I say Brown, Driver, Briggs, and 65 is Kohler and Baumgartner, two different lexicons. And then Moshe. Moshe. Marilyn, what does Moshe or Moses mean?
To draw? Oh.
To draw out, but what does it mean first? The first thing. It means to abandon. And once you've been abandoned, it means to draw out or to rescue. Abandoned ones are rescued. Moses, page 602. And then we have El, a little preposition here, page 39. And then ha'am, ha is the definite article, page 206. And then am is 767 people, or family. Unto the family of you, atem, that's a sign of direct object with a suffix on the end of it, which is second person masculine singular. I, you, he, she, or it, singular. And then cha, ta, ah, them. You have sinned. You have missed the mark is what it is. Now, so many, Mr. Thayer, and Thayer's Analytical Greek Lexicon, or Thayer's Lexicon, which is up here someplace. Right up here. Now, all of my books look like they're worn out. I've had to paste them together and everything. You can see where I carried it for so long, and it's all marked up in here. And Mr. Thayer made a mistake. Now, I don't know anyone else that caught his mistake but me, tell you the truth. For one thing, you have to know Greek and Hebrew both, and you have to know the meanings of those words. Now, Mr. Thayer said that the word hamartia means to miss the mark in the New Testament, and it's equivalent to chata. Chata does mean to miss the mark. Amerio or hamartia does not. It comes from amero, which means to go astray. To miss the mark, it means to miss the target. That's what we might call back then an archery term. But Mr. Thayer put down hamartia as to miss the mark, which it is not. There is a word in the New Testament to miss the mark, and that's astokio. Astokio, in which we're going to get to that. We're going to go to Romans 3:23 in just a minute. And became tomorrow, and the people, you have sinned. Second person masculine plural, cal perfect. Page 306 and 307 through 9. It is astokio in the New Testament, not hamartia. And then the word chata, again, sin. Page 307 through 9. It's feminine singular word, by the way. And it's on page 306 and 305, respectively. Then we have the word El, preposition. Jehovah, El Hadabar. We don't know how to say that name. It's the way they say Hadabar, or the word. It's hologos in the New Testament, in Greek. Eulay. Now that's an adverb, page 100 or page 12, and means not or unless or perhaps. And then akavara. I shall keep on making atonement. This word comes from kafar. Kafar, hilasmos in Greek. Kafar, Brown Driver Riggs 497, Kohler and Baumgartner 493. It's first person construct plural in PL, and it's cohortative in meaning, and it's in perfect tense. I shall keep on for myself making atonement. And then we have the word biad. Biad. That's that's a preposition. It actually comes from two words. Baith, a preposition, page 88, and then odd, on behalf of, page 126 there, of your sin. Cha, ta, kem. Cha, ta, kem. Now, that's a feminine singular word, second person masculine plural suffix on it. Comes from cha, ta. It means to miss the mark. The New Testament term in Greek is not hamartia, but astokio. In Romans 3:23, we have both words. Now, I don't know why Mr. Thayer got really mixed up here. I don't understand that if he knew Greek and Hebrew. And it says, Pontes God hamarton kai, histeronte, tes, oxes, to theou. For all having gone astray. That's the word there, second person or third person plural, second aorist, indicative active. For all of those having gone astray, That's the word hamartia, not to, it comes from amero now, that means to go out of the pathways like a river when it breaks the banks. We were talking here today, and there's a great ravine right out here on the north side of our house, and of course there's a creek over here. I said, I don't know how many years ago when that ravine was actually Chattahoochee Creek. How many years ago did that happen? I remember water flowing in it. I've been here for 70 years in this valley, and I remember water flowing in that creek, right there. At times, at least. Sometimes rivers take a path, different path, and when they do, they cause destruction. And that's what the amero means, to cause destruction. And we have the word to miss the mark, though. That's an archery term. That means that you got a target out there, and you have missed the target. The target, if we really tried to live in a what we call sinless perfection, which is impossible, we'd always miss the mark anyway. We'd have to hit that target if we did. And then in Romans 3:27, Pontes, Gar, Marton, Kai, Hysteronte, Tes, Doxias, to Theou. For all have gone astray, and they have missed the mark. That's third person plural, present, indicative, middle voice. We do it for ourselves, of the glory of the God. So we have the word to go astray, and we have the word to miss the mark. And so that's the way it should be correctly translated. All right, let's go to verse number 31 now. Vayashav Moshe El Hadabar Vayomer Anah Shata Ha'am Hazeh Shata. A lot of words for sin in there. Gedalah, and then Wa'iasu. Wa'iasu. I have to write that down. Gedalah. And then why? Two W's. Why? Ya. Su. For some reason I skipped over that. Gedalah. Gedalah, that is. Yasu Lahem Elohi Zahab. I think that's all there is of that verse. Vayashav. Vayashav. Y on the front of that is a conjunction, page 253. And then, he kept on returning Moses. That word's third person masculine singular, Cal, consecutive, and perfect. And that word comes from Shuvah, and that means to turn around or go in circles or return. And he kept on returning Moshe, Moses, unto, preposition 39, unto El Hadabar, unto the Jehovah. By the way, Jehovah comes from Hayah, which means to become. And the name Jehovah means he who shall become. Page 218 and 19, and 224 and 243, respectively, as Hayah. And then Vayomer. Third person masculine singular, Cal, consecutive, perfect. And he said and kept on saying, and that comes from Amer, page 55 and 65, and then we have the word Anah. And it means, now. Now. It's the interjection, page 58. He has sinned. He has sinned. Third person masculine singular, Cal, perfect. And that equivalent in the New Testament is a stokio, page 57 in the Analytical Greek Lexicon. 306 through 9 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs here. And then Ha'am, the people. Ha, definite article, 206, people or family there. Page 766. And then we have the word Hazeh, Hazeh, Hazeh. And that is a definite article on the front of that, page 206. And then we have a demonstrative pronoun, masculine singular, demonstrative pronoun, page 262. And then we're to sin again. And then sin, equivalent to Astokio in the New Testament. It means to miss the mark. And then great. To miss the mark, great. And that great there is an adjective, and it's a feminine singular word, 152, that would gedolah, and then wa ya asu, and they have made, and they keep on making, they kept on making, third person masculine plural cal, while consecutive and perfect, comes from asa, and they made, and above the word asa there, also means to be a slave. Asa. Asa. Asa means to be a slave. Now sin does make you a slave, doesn't it? Sin is something that comes into your life and in your mind and your heart and your soul, and it does cause you to sin. And it makes you a slave to sin. And they have made and kept on making for themselves, lahem, there's a preposition and a third person masculine plural suffix on it. For themselves, 515 is the lamet there. And an Elohi, of gods, masculine plural, page 43. And then gods of gold, zahav. Zahav. There's a place down there in near the San Joaquin Valley, it's actually up by Isabella, that's called Havilah, and that means the place of gold, or city of gold. Gold is a masculine singular word, and it's 263. Now let's go on. We're talking about sin a lot. Sin, sin, sin is all over these pages. They have sinned, they have committed spiritual adultery, they have committed pagan worship. And God drug them out of that land, but He didn't get Egypt out of them for a while. Weata im tisha cha ta tham we am aim mechane na mis sefarika asher katha veta. Weata, and now. That conjunction on the front of that there, page 253, and then we have a little adverb of time here. And now, page 800, and then if, here we have a conditional particle, page 50 there, im. Tisha, tishsha, you, if that is, you keep on forgiving, are lifting or carrying away, second person masculine singular cal imperfect. That comes from Nethah, page 669, 724. If you keep on lifting and carrying away their sin, the sin belonging to them, their sin, cha ta tham. Noun, feminine singular suffix, third person masculine plural, page 308. And this word is like astokio in the New Testament. If you keep on carrying away their sin, and if we, im, and on the front of that conjunction, and then if, a little particle again, conditional particle, page 50. Not, ayin as an adverb of negation, page 34. If not, this word here means to first person concept singular, and then it's got a suffix, suffix a third person masculine singular, and it's cal imperative masculine singular word. And so does that blot me, or you blot me out, I beg. Na means to beg, or is a particle of entreaty, it means please, it's an exhortation, page 609. And then mis sepharika, from your book. The word sefer in there, here's a Hebrew here in the book of Jasher, sefer ha-yeshur. Sefer means a scribe or to write. It means a missive or a document, a letter of instruction. I beg you, blot me out or erase me from your book, which, that little particle relation, page 81-4, and then we have the word chathaveta, chathavetar. You have written, second person masculine singular, cal perfect. That comes from katav, katag, 507 and 503. Now we're over here to 32 and verse 33. 32-33. Wayomer hadabar el Moshe mi asher chata li em mi henu mesefori. And he said and kept on saying, third person masculine singular, cal, wow, cal, wow, consecutive and perfect, from Amer, page 55 and 65. And he said and kept on saying, Jehovah, Hadabar, El Moshe, unto Moshe, that little preposition there, El, page 39, and Moses, of course, his name means to abandon and then to rescue. Who, me, is a little interrogative, who? To Moses, who, which, or whoever, he has sinned against me. That the word there is ha, or chata li, chata li. Chata means he has sinned, third person masculine singular, cal perfect. He has sinned, and then li, against me, that's a preposition with a first person construct singular suffix. I shall erase him. I shall rub him out. First person construct singular, cal imperfect, suffix third person masculine singular, 562 and 567. From my book, that mem on the front of there, that is the preposition, page 580, and then my book, my sofer, my book, page 707. It means to ascribe or to write. And then verse number 34, Wiata lik nache et ha'am el asher debarati lak hene malaki yelek lefana lefanika, that is, and then ubiom pikadi ufagati alahem shatatham. And the word sin again shows up. And now, wiata. Conjunction, page 253, and then the suffix of that word is the adverb of time, page 800. And now, go. Leak. Go. Masculine singular, cal imperfect. Go. Our imperative there, cal imperative. Comes from halek. Now go. And you lead. Masculine singular, cal imperfect, or imperative again. 634 and 685. Et, sign of direct object. Ace is in the New Testament. Page 119, extension or limitation of authority or verbal action. That is force and power going that way. Ha'am, the people. The ha, definite article, people, 766, and the people there means family also. El, unto, or to, that which, particle relation, 81-4, asher, and debarte, I have spoken. First person singular, PL perfect. Page 180 and 210 comes from the bar. And logos is the New Testament Greek equivalent. And then lock, that means to you. Preposition, page 518, 510 to 18 actually. And it's got a second person masculine singular suffix. And then that word here is hene, you behold. That interjection there. Behold. My angel. The angel belonging to me, that's genitive singular. My angel, my messenger. Masculine singular construct. Comes from angelos. In New Testament, angelo means to send also. My angel, he shall go. Second or third person masculine singular, cal. Walk consecutive and perfect. And then before you, or before your face, lephanika, genitive singular, second person masculine singular, and then uviom. Uviom, it starts out with that vowel there with a dit in it, which means turns it into you. Uviom, in the day, or in day, page 398. We have a conjunction and a preposition, and then the word. Conjunction, wa, we, or you, be, or va, page 88. In the day, my, to visit you, or to visit you for punishment, or to attend to you. First person construct singular, cal infinitive. To visit you with punishment. And I shall have visited, again, for punishment. First person construct singular, cal perfect. I shall have visited. And I, conjunction on front of that, and then alihem, upon them. That's a preposition with a third person masculine plural suffix on it. And then more cha ta them, their sin, the sin belonging to them, genitive plural. The sin belonging to them. Again, the New Testament equivalent is not hamartia, but astokio. Romans 3:23. For all have gone astray and have missed the mark. Romans 3:23. And now here's the last verse in this chapter and in this class. Why yikdaf? Why yikaf? It's a double G in there. Why yikaf? Ha the bar et ha'am al asher asu et ha igel Ashur, Asa, Aharon. And plague them. Third person masculine singular, cal, wow, consecutive, plague them and keep on plaguing them. And what it means is to slap, to hit, to beat on somebody. And he kept on beating them, Jehovah. Hadavar. Et, sign a direct object, page 81 through 4. Ace is the New Testament equivalent, page 119. Extension or limitation of the thought or verbal action. And then word ha'am, the definite article, page 206, and the am is people or family, 766, and then all. This is a preposition now, page 752 through 8, all, ayin lamet, and then we have the word asher, a little particle of relation, because here. Page 81 through 4, because asu, they have made. Third person construct, plural, cal perfect. They have made and finished it. And that word there means they have become slaves to sin, 793 and 889. Et, sign a direct object, the calf, ha, igel, the calf. And this is a masculine calf, by the way. Which, particle relation, he has made Aaron. He has made. Third person masculine singular, cal perfect. Come from Asaph, 793 and 889. And then Aaron. Aaron means light. His name means light, but he was leading them in darkness, not in light. Aaron was leading them in darkness, led in darkness. Led into darkness. Led into darkness. That's the title of that message. Led into darkness. And we will finish there. So that class went from, that was class number 124, Exodus. And that went from 30, 32, 30 through 34, I guess, 30 through 34. Sometimes the chapter and verse numbers don't really match with the translations in the New Testament or the Old Testament. So a lot of times a chapter doesn't really end where a chapter ends. It may go on for 3 or 4 verses in the next chapter, but so you could find a verse in the Bible. That's why that was done so many years ago. It's not done by inspiration, but done by utilitarian means, or because of utilitarian means. It makes it easier to find verses in the Bible, especially also codex. A long time ago, all the scrolls were made in scrolls, in a linear scroll, but to find a verse in there, you had to roll the whole thing out and look all the way down. Codex is when you got a bound book like this, and you can go pages, flipping pages and not rolling pages. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you've enjoyed from the Word of God. The Old Testament is given unto us for a parable, similes, object lessons. That's why we have it. A lot of times we can make idols out of a lot of things in the world today. We don't have to bow down to a golden idol. It may be somebody's car. It may be some other, what we might call racing engines, cars, house. You know, people like to beautify their house, and they just absolutely spend all their energy and money beautifying their homes, which is very beautiful. But when you start worshiping that home instead of God, that's wrong. The same thing with cars and four-wheelers and quads and whatever you want to think of out there is you might be spending all your money and time on. Think about eternity. Think about your families. How that they need to know about Jesus. And to think about why I teach the classes that I do in such in-depth is that I want your families and my families to know the Word of God, to know what they believe and why they believe it, so they won't go off into Islam, so they won't go off in Jehovah's Witness, so they won't go off in Mormonism or any other cult or ism. That's very important. When you know the basis of the Bible and what it really means, and who God really is, and what He expects out of your life, it sure vaccinates you against error. Our Father, we send out this message for your honor and glory today, this evening. Father, please use it wherever it goes. Build people up in the faith and keep them there. Father, please forgive me where I failed you. In Jesus' name I pray.